Hello, Working Title Project. It's Tuesday, and I'm Emery, and I have roommates, so I'm outside in my slippers, and this is what my hair is gonna be doing. Today, I am taking a request from Tumblr from a topic that I thought was really cool. So Anon requested facing the unknown. Though I'm thinking mostly in terms of moving forward with my own transition, it really applies to everyone. Can fear of the unknown be a good thing? Does it hold us back? Is there a certain comfort in the unknown? Can we learn to be okay with not knowing? So first of all, I don't think fear of the unknown is necessarily a good or bad thing. I think it's a very human thing. It's a basic instinct, fear. If we didn't have it, we would be running around, trying to have bears for pets and eating poisonous things. I don't know. There would be more craziness if less people were fearful of the unknown, So, can it be a good thing? Yeah, I think it can be a good thing. I think fear really comes from not knowing. In general, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know this person. I don't know what this thing is capable of. Reminded of Finn, who will probably be contributing to this video. Finn has a fear of bugs. Sorry, Finn, but it's true, and I don't think it's that big of a secret. If you've ever been on Tiny Chat, if you've seen Finn near a bug, but I asked him, like, what's gonna happen if the bug gets on you, Finn? He's like, I don't know, it'll be on me, and then what? We don't know. That's where the fear comes from, it's gonna bite you, is it gonna get some gross slime stuff on you? I don't know what's gonna happen. But on a more intense level of fear, not to minimize your fear of insects, Finn, but right now my biggest fear is not knowing what's gonna happen with money. It's an ongoing theme with me. Money is the root of all evil in my life. It really holds me back from being happy. I have this huge fear that in order to be financially secure, I'm gonna have to sacrifice my own happiness because we're moving to Hungary on Tuesday, and if everything keeps going the way it's going, I'll be having top surgery at the end of September. That's amazing. It's amazing. And I am really excited about that. But, the but is fear. It's all fear of not knowing what's gonna happen if I can't work while I'm recovering. I can't work before surgery because I won't have a working visa. We have to eat, and I have medication to pay for, and I have a dog to take care of, and a relationship. And it's not, I can't say if that's true or not. I don't know. Bo might know. I think Bo knows. He's just not gonna tell me. Is there a certain comfort in the unknown? Well, the truth is that we don't know anything, right? But the wise ones say that once you accept that, basically let go, right, then you'll be free. And that there's a huge comfort being in the moment. That's what enlightenment is about. But I do really struggle with that. Knowing these things, knowing that letting go and being in the moment will make me happy doesn't help me to let go and be in the moment, because I feel like I'm not doing enough in this moment a lot of the time. That's one of the reasons I love making videos so much. I feel like I'm in this moment doing something, it's gonna make some sort of impact. Even if it's not, it's making an impact on me. You know, getting these requests and talking about these things is like, it's amazing, you know? It gave me the initiative to sit down and write about it a little bit. A lot of it, actually. And it's also the reason that I love my nighttime meditation. You know, that nighttime meditation for me is I lay down and I put on a 27 some odd minute meditation with Tara Brach, and it's permission to relax. Relax, bro. It's like the wise ones say that this will benefit you, and I see people benefiting from it, so it's like, okay, I can take at least a half hour out of my day to sit down and breathe and be in the moment. But wants to go inside and listen, whether it's my own breath or like the cars outside or like whatever the person guiding the meditation is telling me to listen to, you know, sounds around me, sounds distant from me, and it's so peaceful. And the same people that are doing these guided meditations, my main teacher now, Tara Brach, she swears, and she's a happy person for the most part, that if you can live your life like that, you will be happy. You'll inevitably be happy because you have the freedom to make decisions from a aware presence, you know, an open heart, a self-trusting, universe-trusting place. You're not in fear, you're not distracted by the what ifs. And it all sounds so freeing, and it sounds easy, but like, the nature of the mind is to wander. That's what the mind does. It thinks, and it goes off to places without your permission. And this is turning into something completely different, but not really. I feel like the comfort in the unknown is really just letting go and trusting yourself to make the right decisions as they come. And that's huge. That's huge. And in this moment, that's a really comforting thought to me. I mean, there should be no but. Like, there is no but to that right here, right now. The but, I guess, is that it's very human to be fearful of the unknown, you know? And when it comes to transition, like, I'm gonna take it there because that's my experience. I was never 100% sure of anything, ever. I could say that I'm 100% sure that I want this top surgery, but I'm not 100% sure that I'm gonna wake up in the morning. I trust myself enough to know from the most honest place in my heart that that is what I want, but there's still room for the unknown. And there's comfort in that because it's not all up to me. Did I answer that question? Can fear of the unknown be a good thing? Yeah. I mean, instinct is a good thing. It's not you can't hold that against yourself because you're human. But you can practice awareness. Like, I know that it sounds cheesy, but that general awareness is really just being here now and allowing yourself to be here now. Allowing myself to be here now is difficult. And if it wasn't difficult, I don't think it would be worth it. But it's a lot less stressful than the alternative, which is being in so much fear that I'm tense all the time, and I want to calculate money, and I want to, talk things to death with no end in sight. I want to know. I want to know that it's going to be okay. And the only way it's going to be okay is if I'm okay with it not being okay. I trust that I'm a good person and that I make good decisions, And that's all I can ask for, you know? Trying not to harm anybody in the meantime, you know? That's all you can really do, I think. On to the next.
Hey everyone, so I don't really know what I want to talk about in this video specifically, but after watching Emery's video, all that really came up to mind was my relationship with art and my transition through it, and how I've managed to shift my art in a completely new direction after tackling my fears. So, in high school, I went to an art school, and a lot of what I personally did was building up my skill, and I became pretty good at it, and I kind of only focused on my technical skills, and I guess I'll show you. So I got really into like hyperrealism and such, and so I was kind of stuck in this zone, and my art became really static, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I really wanted to shift my artwork, but I was in so much fear and I had no idea how to do this on my own. Then my lovely high school teacher, who I really admire, he gives me this huge piece of paper and he says, "I want you to draw on it." I was completely startled because usually I draw on very small pieces of paper, but this paper was about half the size of me, and that in itself made me fear a lot inside. And I was like, what? I can't do that, but I guess I'll try. And I was just so hesitant and tense. I get really tense when I have to approach the unknown. So I took this piece of paper home, and I knew I wanted to work with ink because I felt that the medium ink would give me a little bit of freedom, and it would allow me to loosen up because I had gotten so tense from working completely technically. So I started to tackle my fears, and I was completely blown away at how much my art had shifted in just this one piece. I just completely abandoned skill in my artwork, and that was so scary to me because I felt that's all I knew. And so when I tackled this unknown, I felt like I had never done art before and that I was just taking baby steps into this new realm. And that was kind of scary, but it was also really exciting because I was reaching another part of myself and another part of art that I had never ever seen before with my artwork. And I wanted to continue it on. My artwork was completely process-based. It was letting go of all my planning and just going at it in the moment, as Emery stated. Trusting the moment and making the right decisions as it comes was really important. My artwork became all about process and responding to every mark on the piece of paper just by instinct and spontaneity. And I realized that there's a lot of beauty in unexpected moments, unexpected situations, and unexpected outcomes, and accepting it really made me see the beauty, and it helped me get rid of this fear of mine. I started seeing this same fear in other parts of my life, not just with art, and so I've been working on it, and the more I work on tackling my fears, I've started to feel more free and liberated inside, and it's been good, and I hope that this fear will drive me to explore new realms with my art and with other aspects of my life. Letting go was a really important part to my artwork. I really found a lot of freedom by letting go and being fully open with myself. I spent so much of my art life just wanting to know the outcome. I was so hooked on to knowing exactly what the outcome would be, and that's exactly what my technical work did. I knew what the ending point would look like. But with my process-based artwork, I never knew, and that was the beauty to it, and that's what moved me internally, and that's what made me want to continue approaching the unknown. And even now, it's sometimes really hard for me to let go of not knowing the unknown. So it's just an ongoing process for me, myself, and something I need to work on internally. But this practice of spontaneity has helped so much with my life, and I'm very thankful for my teacher who helped me cross this bridge that I thought I couldn't do myself. I feel that during my technical work, I was just so worried and fearful of what other people thought of my artwork, and working in this more spontaneous way allowed myself to be really vulnerable and honest and open with myself, and I felt that I touched a really raw part within myself. I think in many ways fear can drive you to tackle the unknown, and you'd be surprised by what the unknown will show you and what you will learn from tackling the unknown. And it left me feeling so liberated. It was such a blessing and a process of humility, honestly. I just feel that when I tackle the unknown, I am growing more as a person. But this is it. And you can't really see the details, but this piece is what changed my body of artwork to a completely new level. I humbly say that I am grateful for this piece. I guess that's all I have to share for this week, so thanks for watching, and I'm looking forward to what the other members have to say about this topic. Bye!
Hey, it's JFrank. And yes, you guessed it, this is the look of the future, as always, bringing you the latest trends. In fact, I'm just trying to dye my hair. So today we're talking about fear of the unknown, and basically, everything right now is unknown for me, which is a very frustrating and scary place to be. So I'm leaving for art school. I'm moving halfway across the country in less than a week at this point. And I feel less than prepared, which is okay, because I know that I'm not supposed to be completely prepared. Like, I have a place to live, it's going to be paid for, and I know what I'm going to start studying as soon as I get there. But basically, everything beyond that just feels like it's completely unknown. And up until last week, I was trying to find a place to live as well. I've since embraced the fact that I'm just going to have to pay for the ridiculously expensive student housing, but, that's what it is. So, I think part of being okay with having unknowns in your life is doing what you can to affect change, knowing when, being able to identify risks that are, beyond your ability to handle the consequences if things go wrong. I think that's sort of a mature skill to have. I definitely had to practice that to be able to accept the fact that I'm not going to be able to live in an apartment for at least the first semester. Even though I had awesome roommates lined up, we just couldn't find anything. Yeah, so there's been a lot of stress about that, and I really wanted to join this conversation, even though obviously very short on time, because I'm having to pack. Today is one of my few days to pack. I'm spending the rest of my time saying goodbye to family, and tomorrow is my last day at my job. So there's a lot going on. And then after that, I'm leaving on Wednesday, and then I have to start school a week after that. So, and then there's like the bigger unknowns, like, so I'm going to art school, I'm going to learn things, but then what's going to happen after that? How am I going to make money? How am I going to make money in art school? You know, one of my stipulations, which is probably not practical, I might have to give this up at some point, I accept that, but I really want to work at somewhere that doesn't have a dress code. I don't know how to find that kind of place. I've been looking up costume shops and, I don't know, places that it seems like drag queens would want to work, trying to just fit the part, you know. So I've seen a few of those, but, you know, mostly they're just small places and I don't have a way to know if they're hiring. So I don't know when I'm going to be able to work. I don't know at what point I'm going to be able to start making money again. So that's really scary. I think Emery had a similar kind of situation to that, and it's definitely a very scary place to be. But I understand that it's going to be okay because I have supportive parents and I have some savings, and it just might impact my lifestyle and my ability to do drag and develop my looks for a while. But yeah, I think there's just a lot of fear associated with starting a new chapter in life, and excitement and trepidation. But right now, right on the verge of it, I'm feeling mostly fear for what's going to happen. Because it's a big blank piece of paper, like Maya showed us. I don't know how to go at it. But I trust that it's going to work out. Just like I'm trusting that the hair that I bleached yesterday is going to turn white with a little bit of pink and purple pigment. That's the hope. It might be not good. My boss might say, "I'm glad you're leaving. Don't ever come back." You know, but I am making choices and I'm dealing with the consequences. I think that is the essence of this video. There we go.
I've always been driven by fear my entire life. I can remember being a very, very small child and I was terrified of everything. I could debate as to why that is, but the fact is that I've just always been that way. And so as I've grown up, I've had to figure out how to sort of function in that way. How do I deal with the fact that I'm so fearful of life in general? And I think for a long time now I've got to a point where I don't see fear as a bad thing because it's just always been a constant state. I mean, it's something that I'm trying to work on and get over so that I don't feel fear on a day-to-day basis, but as it stands right now it is, and I've just got to make the most of it. But yeah, it's not the fear that's the bad thing, it's how you react to that fear that is a good or bad thing. If you let it stifle you and completely freeze you to the point where you can't do anything but hide, then that's a bad thing. But the biggest example of fear in my life and how I've let it be a good thing somewhat is probably when my dad died. At that point in my life I had been battling depression and anxiety for a really long time. I'd finally got to a place where I was somewhat better. I'd kind of overcome it and I was in a really good place, but you know, it was a bit rocky. I mean, I knew that if something big were to happen then it could fuck me up. And I was terrified of going back to square one and doing it all again. But yeah, so when he died, I panicked. I mean, bereavement is a terrifying experience for most people to face. A lot of us are pretty afraid of death. But I was also scared of what it would do to me in terms of the progress that I'd made with my mental health. And the actions that I took directly after that was, as a result of fear. I was terrified of what it would do to me. So instead of, what Emery and Maya had said, just accepting the moment and the unknown, I made a very serious plan. I planned to go to art school, and I was so determined because I was so terrified that I just made sure I got in. There was no two ways about it. I never said I was applying to art school. I said I'm going to art school. Trying to combat your fear of the unknown with strict control over your life it doesn't work. I mean, in that situation that I'm talking about, it paid off because I got into art school and I'd done what I set out to do. But the thing that I was terrified of facing, just the fact that he was gone, and accepting that was going to send me back into depression, and I didn't know how it was going to turn out. It happened anyway. I just prolonged the process, and even as I thought I was putting it off, facing the bereavement, it was still affecting me. I was depressed. I was a mess. And because I was so gung-ho about getting into art school, everything else in my life just there was no room for it. And it damaged relationships I had with my girlfriend at the time and my friends, and then also with my family, because they needed me to be there, so that we could go through that process of bereaving together, and I wasn't there for them. Yeah, I've always been terrified of not having control, and Emery pointed out my fear of insects. The thing that terrifies me about insects getting on you and stuff is the thought of them getting inside your body. Kind of relates sort of to the idea of the abject. You should look that up if you don't know what it is. It's really interesting. But yeah, it's just we all walk around and do things in our lives and go along with our daily business, and we have the fact that we have all of this stuff underneath our flesh. We have like a heart that's beating, we have blood that's pumping everywhere. There's all these things going on in your body and you don't see it. And think about if you've ever seen a photograph or something of someone who's got a severed arm or something, or if you see someone having an operation performed on where their body's ripped open. And a lot of people are really terrified of that. They don't like looking at it, and I don't like looking at it. It's something that I've kind of tried to force myself to get over, because it's silly really, because it's there whether we can see it or not. It's very startling when it gets put in front of you, but that's where my fear box comes from. I'm a control freak and I'm terrified of everything. I'm terrified of germs, I'm terrified of dying, I'm terrified of bugs, terrified of public transport, I'm terrified of walking down the street at night, I'm terrified of walking down the street during the day on my own, I'm terrified of everything, but I'm trying not to be. And I really liked a lot of what Maya said in terms of her art and being really process-based, and seeing mistakes not as mistakes, seeing unpredictable things that happen as exciting and a new avenue to explore. And that's something that I'm really working hard to not only acknowledge and believe that can happen, but to make sure that it does happen and it becomes an intrinsic part of me that I don't have to force anymore. Yeah, so everyone get involved, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.
Let's go out back and plant a family tree.